This is Tim Bryce with my column titled The 2020 Year-End Wrap-Up. This is my last column for the year as I prepare to enjoy the holidays and rest up for 2021. As has become customary, I'm using this opportunity to review my top essays from the past year. As you know, I write on a variety of subjects such as management, systems, technology, social issues, politics, and observations of our changing world. Sometimes my work is instructional and informative. Other times it is controversial or humorous. I certainly hope it isn't boring. By the number of subscribers I have, their comments, and the hits I have on my websites, I do not believe this is the case. This has been a fiery political year, and as such, my political columns did very well. Nonetheless, what follows is based on my hits on my web pages. My top columns for the year include, number 1, In Praise of the BBQ Pit Boys. By far, this was the favorite of my readers, and I was pleased to see it win, even though I was a bit surprised by its popularity. I think it was the subject matter that made it a success, slow cooking, or perhaps the BBQ Pit Boys show itself is so popular I wrote on their coattails. Either way, I was glad to see people enjoy this essay on the love of barbecue. Number 2, What Happens if Trump Loses? This was my most popular political piece, which people are still reading 5 months after I released it. Number 3, As Florida goes, so goes the country. This was my last column before the 2020 election. In it, I accurately predicted Florida would go to President Trump. I had thought Florida would set the tone for the swing states, and I still may be right, provided we ever find out about the fraudulent voting. Number 4, Who is really dividing the country? This was also published shortly before the election. In this one, I contended American hate was not generated from President Trump, as the news media claims, but by the far left instead. Number 5, Beware of the Lincoln Project, another political essay which described a group of former quote-unquote Republicans bent on seeing President Trump removed from office. These were actually Democrats in disguise. Number 6, The After Effects of the 2020 Election. Some predictions of what to expect following the 2020 elections. Number 7, The Loss of a Spouse, a personal piece reflecting on the pain of losing a spouse, something I experienced not long ago. Number 8, I Will Not Forget. Written in July, this represented a listing of the accomplishments of the president as well as the roadblocks thrown up by the Democrats. I wrote this knowing Americans have a short attention span. Number 9, Are we better off under Trumponomics? As evidenced by a Gallup poll in February, the answer is yes. Number 10, The Political Consequences of George Floyd. This represented the kickoff to the Summer of Hate. For honorable mention, we have An Open Letter to GOP Candidates, Capitalism versus Socialism, Do You Know the Difference? Joe Biden's Dilemma, 10 Tips for Confronting the News Media, and Where Does the GOP Go From Here? I also provide an audio version of most of my columns for those people on the go, courtesy of YouTube. I would like to believe people listen to me at the gym or beach, but more realistically, the people tend to tune in while they are traveling or at work. Interestingly, the popularity of my audio segments is not the same as my written columns. For audio segments, number 1, What Happens if Trump Loses? Like the printed version, this was my top political piece. Number 2, Beware of the Lincoln Project, also a favorite, just like the printed version. Number 3, The After Effects of the 2020 Election. This is still taking hits. Number 4, As Florida goes, so goes the country. A lot of people tuned in to hear my prediction. Number 5, Unity, Don't Make Me Laugh. Something former Vice President Joe Biden claims he wants, but people know better. Number 6, In Praise of the BBQ Pit Boys. This segment did well, but nothing like the printed version. Number 7, Who is Really Dividing the Country? An important piece which did well. Number 8, I Will Not Forget. Both the printed and audio versions took the number 8 spot. Number 9, The After Effects of the 2020 Election, listing predictions pursuant to the election. And finally, number 10, The Summer of Hate. Interestingly, the audio version did better than the printed counterpart. For honorable mention, we have Democracy versus republic, do you know the difference? How is the fight for Florida shaping up? The show must go on. Where does the hate come from? And finally, the impeachment charade is finally over. I will be on sabbatical for a while until I am ready to get back in the saddle for the new year. Until then, Merry Christmas. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.